WWT Universe. You already know it's your councilman and the most electrifying man in digital entertainment. We have got ourselves a king and queen of the ring crowned. We have our championship matches set for SummerSlam, at least half of them, and so much more that has just happened on King and Queen of the Ring that we are going to talk about here on today's post show on WWT. Let's go.
Hey guys, my name is Jade Cargill, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
What it do, WWT Universe? Welcome to another episode of WWT Podcast. Of course, I am your host today, Councilman Pharaoh, and we are talking about the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view, just wrapping the day up in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And of course, I am not by myself today. I am here with an incredible Japan enthusiast. Also, you have seen her on her podcast, Squared Circle Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the lovely Maria Shadows in the building today. Maria, how are you doing this Memorial weekend?
I am great. It's also Marie rather than Maria, but I totally get it. A little mix up her name. No problem. Cool. But I am fantastic. We're going to be talking about this wonderful card in Saudi Arabia. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, pleasure to have you here. Excuse my Southern accent. I read things in Southern
that's fine.
for some reason. Yeah.
That's fine.
But yes, we had us a wonderful King of the Ring pay-per-view. If you are here on the stateside, it premiered at 10 a.m. on the Pacific Coast and 1 p.m. on the East Coast. 6 incredible matches, 1 kickoff match, and then of course 5 great premium live event matches. And so for myself, I always like to start kind of in an order for us to talk about, so I want us to dive just right into it. Shout out to the folks that are joining us right now, Brayton Steffens, Joseph Boza. Also too, I'm going to apologize in advance because I be screwing names up. I be sounding like that lady at the podium during graduation that be saying the names wrong. And so if I do, I apologize, and I am working on it. Just let me know how to say it correctly, like you see how it was done earlier. But let's start off first with, of course, the kickoff match that we had, which was Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, I want to know from you, I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you rating this match? Give me your goods, and then give me your, I'm going to call them WTFs. We don't want to call it bad because we don't ever want to say someone had WTF. We're going to call it a WTF, like what was going on? Take it away.
Well, first of all, I do like that approach. I really do. That's a really cool approach. Because normally I would have just started off with saying that I absolutely love this because I loved watching Jade and Bianca like grow as a tag team. Like I'm so invested in their story and their friendship. So like, you know, kudos to them. I also do enjoy watching Indy and Candice. So if we're rating this from like 1 out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. It was still good. I enjoyed it, but like a 6.5 is good for like the kickoff show. I do want to say that like the finisher for what Jade and Bianca did, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty, outstanding. I do like the fact that WWE knows which wrestlers to put Jade with, so that way she could get her reps in and feel comfortable in the ring. Not like every other wrestling promotion that I know does that very, very smoothly. But yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 6.5. What did I say? 6.5. 6.5. But I don't have any like WTFs.
Okay. No, I feel that. And I also agree with you too. Same way as I think Joseph put it well. This was how you do an appetizer correctly. They started off on a high. There was some people pissed that this was an appetizer saying Jade was buried. I don't necessarily agree with that. To be honest with you, I I think that if anything, these two women are helping give the women's tag titles a resurgence. If I'm being honest with you, this is now the second time that we have had a banger of a match for the women's tag team titles. We had it previously, I believe, what it was between the Kabuki Warriors, which was also a great match. Same thing here. Now, again, I'm not going to say they've given us 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, or anything like that, but they definitely had us now paying attention a little more to the women's tag team championships. And just like you said, the finisher said a lot for me. And you know what? Because of that, and because of also the storytelling that led to this with Candice LeRae, you know, so they saying her messing up Bianca Belair's knee. I will bring this to a 7 because you gave a little more legitimacy to the way, to where it's like, okay, now I want to see them in more tag team action, not just a filler match. It's now you've made them contenders, and I wouldn't mind seeing them getting another title shot or being in some more stuff. And as well as you solidified Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair as a tag team by showing us this incredible finisher. It makes us feel like we're not just going to have them for 3 months. We're going to have them for a good little stint right now, maybe through the rest of the year, who knows? But it's at least giving us time to go like, hey, we're now trying to take these titles seriously, and we want to make sure that we establish tag teams that can go toe-to-toe with them. And I think that's the best thing, having a bar so high that you start to have these people have to climb up to give a better performance.
Definitely, totally agree with that. I do also want to mention too that now WWE is starting to make us care about certain injuries that play into the storyline and stuff. Because even on commentary, you know, they were like, oh, you know, well, Bianca said that like her knee was fine, you know, but then now that her knee got worked in the match and whatnot, she's all like, ow, my knee, I can't put too much pressure on it. And then for us as fans that were watching it, we're like, oh, you know, could this be it? Could this be it that they lose their championship titles? So there's stake in the matches now. And even if a match doesn't have a title belt, the stake of the injury storyline helps balance everything out.
I agree 100%. So, like I said, I think Joseph and yourself put it very well. This was a great appetizer. We're sitting at the wrestling restaurant in Jeddah right now. This was a good appetizer to get us ready. We done had a few drinks. And so now we're ready for the first course of this 5-course meal. And the next one that they gave us was the Women's World Heavyweight title. This was the first match, the opener to King and Queen of the Ring. The crowd did not disappoint in supporting both of these women and also throughout the night. So that's one of the first things I want to say too. Shout out to Jeddah for keeping that international buzz going within the crowd, because they brought it tonight. And the same could be said about this match between Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. And of course, which I think is probably one of the biggest surprises of the night and starting it off, Liv Morgan is now the new Women's World Champion. She did it. The revenge tour is complete, and she is now standing on the top of the mountain, defeating the man, Becky Lynch, one of the 4 horsewomen, and now stands on top of the women's division on Monday Night Raw. Marie, what? Once again, I want to know, what was the good parts of this match? If you had some WTF moments, and what would you rate this 1 out of 10 for this match?
So I'm actually happy that Liv Morgan won the championship title, just because I am just Becky Lynch fatigue. And when I said that last on social media, No one really liked it, but it's okay. It's just Becky Lynch fatigue. I wanted a fresh new story, and Liv could give us a fresh new story and let her actually like blossom into, you know, the second part of the revenge tour, because people might think like, oh, now it's over, then like what else is she gonna do? There's more for her to do. I actually usually sometimes like on Twitter I'll like put my thoughts out about like how story can progress. Like we saw in this match that Dominic had come out, and Dominic thought he was doing a very good thing by putting the chair in and trying to, you know, do the distraction, but it ended up not working in his favor. So, you know, Liv is the champion. Why not she take her rightful throne in the middle of Judgment Day and be like, now I'm your mommy. Now, you know, get Rhea upset tonight when she comes back. Rhea taking the championship title off of Liv would mean a lot more. Now, for this match, I'm just gonna give it an 8 because Liv won. Both of these women can actually go. Becky Lynch can go in the ring. It's just that sometimes I want to see some like something different from her from time to time, not the same old, you know, way of the stuff that she does. The only WTF moment was like Dom coming out, but I kind of knew. But he was a smart guy there.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I think Joseph also throwing it out again. Great match till that nincompoop Dominic showed up. Not surprised Liv is a 2-time women's world champion. Was it better for Liv to win here, or should she have won the battle royal? I'm going to say I think winning here was the best choice. Now again, too, I would have liked to see this cook a little more. But I do understand that, you know, Becky's contract is coming to an end. Also, too, she was supposed to be able to take a break before Rhea got hurt. So kind of stepping in to be the champion, but allowing Liv to really like showcase why she should be at the top of the division. And I think this is the perfect time because, one, it showed us Liv stepping up, that this wasn't a necessary fluke of a win, even with Dominic interfering, because to be honest with you, I think she could have won that match clean. And so I believe that it showed that Liv is a top main event competitor for Raw, and the fact that now that we don't have a powerhouse like Mommy, we don't have that Becky Lynch fatigue, as you put, we now have more of a fresh roster of Raw stars that are kind of on the same level as Liv, that can really work themselves to do some great things. Like I can see some bomb matches between her and Lyra Valkyria, her and Shayna Baszler, and having to try to escape from either tapping, napping, or snapping. Like it kind of, again, like we talked about with what was her name, Julia, you know, taking the NXT women's title from Roxanne. It kind of resets this universe, and it resets the women's world heavyweight championship universe to give some of these stars a chance right now. So that's what I love seeing about this match. And I will give it an 8 out of 10 as well. You know, we kind of sitting in the same range with these. Now I do have some WTFs about this match. Not too bad, but it's just kind of like, what were we doing? First things first. Yeah. What I would have loved to see, why did Liv not come out dressed in black and yellow like the bride from Kill Bill? That was a missed opportunity right there. The revenge tour, blonde hair.
I can see.
And then we inside here, so it's dressed all the way to the neck. This was the perfect time for her to come out in the yellow, black stripes.
I can see it, yeah.
And taking the title. And that would be another even shot at Becky, because that was Becky's colors at one point. So that would have been even more of a shot. So it's just, though, again, all of these WTFs are just little things that just as a wrestler, I do catch. Yeah. And so I'm just like, okay. And then my other one was Becky Lynch's setups to these. And I think that too also goes to what you said about fatigue. Like when she had her in the arm bar, and she was consistently looking like she's waiting for Dominic to come. It took I think it took a little too long for him to get there. And so maybe that's not on her and more of the cameraman for staying there too long, but it's kind of just like, it was a big dead giveaway with that. And it was kind of like, okay, I see what's about to happen. And then her selling into the DDT in the chair. It was like, okay, you could have walked into it, sold it a little more, but it seems like she was anticipating it. Like, come on,
Yeah,
Liv, come
yeah, yeah.
quickly and taking it. I'm like, all right. But again, too, like you said, it's Becky fatigue. I know she's tired, and I know she is ready to go sit down, enjoy some time with her kid, and then be able to see what the next step is. And then just from Liv's side now with being the world champion and with this whole Dominic thing and with Rhea Ripley, I see a lot of potential too with her maybe even going a AJ Lee route as with this now kind of kooky craziness to where it's like, yo, yeah, maybe she starts like, you know, like Dominic not really messing with her, but in her head, that's Poppy right there, and I'm mommy now. And he's like, no, I don't like that. And then he comes into like the Judgment Day room, starts seeing little hearts and things left on there and stuff like that, really building it up to when Rhea gets back, it's just like, whoa, you know, you kind of got this psychotic type of world heavyweight champion, but then also too gives her time to continue to progress in the ring and let that personality and the ring inability and the ring ability come together and make her not only a solid women's world champion run for a second time, but then more of a promise for us to see it again. It's like, you know, when she does have to finally step down and transfer the title, you know, we'd be like, okay, I don't mind seeing Liv again. I don't mind seeing her being a champion, and I wouldn't even mind her being a champion in like 3 months. But I will actually,
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say if that happens, right? If she goes like full crazy and psychotic with like Dom and whatnot, just expect Damian Priest to say a lot of jokes in Spanish. That's gonna be super hilarious, like only in Spanish. Like, you know, it's gonna be great.
Yes, I think it's gonna be fantastic. I imagine her doing some stuff like R-Truth when they all rise for the Judgment Day, and she come out of nowhere and it's just holding her belt.
She's gonna be like the tiny one, which is gonna be so great, man. Like, I really wish that it could unfold like this. Like, I'm ready for this.
Yes, I am too. Now I want to ask you a question though. In the case of this, now with her being the world heavyweight champion, we did also hear from the backstage that Becky Lynch will be trying to invoke her rematch clause and potentially will be doing that on Monday Night Raw. So, for instance, if Liv does succeed, who would you like to see be the new number one contender going after Liv's world heavyweight championship?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why like Nia popped into my head, but I would like to see a first round of Liv versus Lyra because Lyra is on Raw, right?
Yeah, she's on Raw.
I have to keep up with all this stuff. Yeah, I like to see like a first round, like a tryout, a test out, you know, for that. But I don't have like any contenders like rushing to my mind for her first title defense because everything has to be set up. Like Judgment Day has to be like, Dom, what the hell is wrong with you? And then like here comes Liv, like that has to be set up first. But I wouldn't mind like her taking shots at like the women being like, I did everything that you women couldn't do. Now this is why I'm on top, you know, blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Like I need all the setup, and then like maybe some woman from the back to be like, nah, I got your number. But if she ever does face Shayna Baszler, like I would like a Raw Underground. I would like that. That's just me. Yeah, I would like a Raw Underground.
Yo, that would Now you could Marie, you cooking with that one. You cooking with that one. I can see it. Oh, yo. You know what? That you can't even top that. You can't even top that one. That's it right there. That's some stuff I'm looking forward to. And just with us talking the way we're talking right now, that lets us know that I think this was a good move for WWE to finally punch the ticket on letting her be the world heavyweight champion because of how excited that we're getting with these potential matches.
Oh, yeah.
Even like you said, from a Lyra to a Shayna, I even think her and Zoe Stark would give us a great match. I don't, again, I see Liv still retaining and stuff like that, but I think, as you said, having a few that's thrown at her to at least build up her title reign, she's going to give us some legitimate matches. And one thing I'm going to say, to Liv and the creatives, more to the creatives than Liv, you better not have her tap out to anything. She better not tap out to no
Hmm.
submission. You cannot do her like y'all did her when she faced Ronda Rousey and she tapped out and the ref didn't see it. Do not tarnish this run like that.
Okay.
She has got to remain strong-willed, and if she gonna lose, if she gonna win, and she got to win dirty, let it be dirty. Don't let it
Oh,
make
yeah,
it
yeah,
feel
yeah.
weak.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there. But congratulations to Liv Morgan. Well deserved, has been here for years, has stayed dedicated to her craft, has stayed dedicated to the company, and she deserves it and deserves all the flowers for them. But like we said, that was a good first course. You know what I'm saying? We didn't fill up on bread. We ate most of it. we had a few more drinks. And then we're a little full. We're not too full. We still got our stomach ready, but our taste buds are a little relaxed now, so we can move into the next match, the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Bronson Reed, Chad Gable of the Alpha Academy, and the Intercontinental Champion himself, the hometown hero, as they were calling him, Sami Zayn. Now, Marie, I gotta ask. What was your good? Are there any WTFs? And what were you rating this match?
First of all, I really do think that like WWE should have put the title on Gable. There's nothing really wrong with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has proven himself, even as him as being El Generico. Sorry, spoiler alert. Because I followed his whole entire career from the Ring of Honor days, the good Ring of Honor days, all the way up to now. And he has proven himself, and there's nothing else for me to be like, all right, cool, what else you got? Bronson, on the other hand, like, I don't know what it is that like I know he has all the potential in the world to be like the biggest guy there where people can get behind him, because I mean, listen, he's the guy that defeated Okada in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I was even shocked, and I had to cover that, and I was like, whoa. Bronson Reed, aka Jonah, for everyone out there, defeating Okada and then coming over back to WWE and stuff. Maybe he should have got the championship title for the Intercontinental Championship title. But like for some reason, it's just that this whole dynamic doesn't like work for me because it's not really hitting. Because I think that my hope and dreams was like Gable should win it, that type of thing. Other than that, the match was solid because these guys are always going to give a solid performance, but I'm just going to give it a 5 just because I wasn't like feeling it, even though I understand what's happening. I don't really have any WTF moments, but that's just like my thought process on like this triple threat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. For myself, no WTF moments. No WTF moments. But I gotta give this a 4 out of 10. Because Sami Zayn reminds me of grits. And I'm not a fan of grits. I know they good. I know they go well with things. When my mom used to bring them, they were on the plate. It goes well with breakfast. It goes well with shrimps. You're supposed to have them. I just don't want them. And as my mom would do, she would keep shoving grits in my face every time she brought a breakfast plate. And I feel like that's what they keep doing with Sami Zayn. I understand it's like, you are trying to be the mankind of this generation as far as the lovable person. But it is time for you to evolve. And he just hasn't. And so it just doesn't grab me. Like, I still say he should have not been the person that defeated Gunther. I'm sorry. I still believe that it should have been anybody else. It could have been Chad Gable. And to really establish him as like, as we all like to call him, Perk Gable, and really establish what the Alpha Academy would could be.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that. It's like y'all keep trying to shove him in our face. And it's like, it's cool. We don't mind rooting for him. But it was like, I was not excited when he got the belt. I was not excited
Mm-hmm.
when he defended it on Raw and he won. And I wasn't excited when he won it here and how he won. I didn't like the fact that Bronson Reed was still down after that whole that whole interaction between him, Otis, and Gable actually getting hit by Otis and Bronson still down and how it ended. And then the same thing with Bronson. I love Bronson Reed because big brother.
Yeah.
So I'm a support.
Yeah.
But I think when they messing up with him, you don't give him enough matches on television.
Yeah.
So when it's maybe one where it's in the mix of somebody else, and then he gets a title shot. But it's not enough for us to show this pure destruction that is Bronson Reed. Like the fact Bronson Reed didn't do anything like how Braun Breaker did this past Monday. The fact that we haven't seen him do anything like that, it just doesn't give us, it still yet have come off to be this dominating, scary figure that, once you win the title, hey, things are about to be completely different.
Yeah. You're totally right. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't shown that. But Perk Gable, my boy Perk Gable, man, I agree with you. Should have been walking out. He should have been walking out as the WWE Intercontinental Champion. And for some reason, didn't pull the trigger and then had Otis mess up, which I just don't think was right. But once again, for some reason, they want to keep slamming Sammy in our face. And I swore that I thought he was going to lose this one because the last time he was in Saudi Arabia, he won. So I felt like, okay, so, it's always supposed to be that give and take as a wrestler. Like how Undertaker gave to end the streak. You kind of lose to the hometown to, give that effect, but it was just like, it didn't happen. And then the chance when he won wasn't even that great. So I don't know. It's kind of like Gunther let that title go. And so I'm going to ask you, do you feel like, maybe we're jumping the gun, but I will ask, do you feel like, are we now having the Intercontinental Championship with the way it's now being moved? Is it starting to lose its stock as a title?
I want to say 50-50 only because the way that it's booked, the way that it's pushed, and the story surrounding it, because we've seen Sammy already hold this title, and I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if it's a sorry to him and fans because he didn't dethrone Roman at the time when we were all like, yo, just give him the title. We were all red hot for him during the whole bloodline storyline type of thing. So I don't know if this is we're sorry, here's another run at it. But I'm gonna go 50-50, man. Because you need to have a good story behind the Intercontinental Championship title and bring it back to the roots of what it means to be that champion, and for people to push it again. Sammy's great. Both of us have studied his career and followed his career and stuff, but I don't think he needs it. I mean, he could go after the world heavyweight title, but I'm not sure if that's going to change anything. Or he might. I would like to see he take a break a bit. Take a break, reinvent himself, work on some things, just so that way he could be off TV for a little bit. But yeah, my official answer is going to be 50-50.
Okay. And I completely agree with you. So I will say, because again, I like that we're kind of doing what I call phantom fiction when it comes to kind of writing some of this stuff out. So I'll ask you, what does Sammy need next? And who is the opponent for that? If he's not taking time off, I know you said he should go away, but if he's not going away, who should his next opponent be?
That's a very, I don't want to say difficult question because it's not really difficult. It's just trying to put him with somebody that would pull out maybe some El Generico vibes. He's only had two characters. He had El Generico, and then he has Sami Zayn. I'm not sure what else he could do to make a new character, a new version of this Sami Zayn. And if WWE were to ever rename him, that'd be a very bad thing. But Chad Gable has been bringing out really good aggression out of Sammy. So sticking with Gable for a little bit longer. However, I think it'll be kind of interesting to see um, Drew McIntyre have a program with Sami Zayn, just so that way, like, Sammy could use more social media in a different way to combat Drew McIntyre, because let's face it, Drew McIntyre is like now king of social media.
Yeah.
But the way that Drew like elevates everybody, he could probably elevate Sammy to just have something a little bit more. But I'm not sure, but that's just where like I'm gonna end that.
Okay.
I really do love the question though, but like I love this kind of stuff where I can like think out storylines and stuff like that, because my background is I have a bachelor's in creative writing and a publishing certificate.
Okay.
So basically this is my number one thing to be a writer for like WWE. So I love like doing this fantasy fiction kind of thing where we get to like break down this kind of stuff. So I just love it. It's just that's a pretty awesome thing to have to like really, really think about, of who will be best to bring the best out of Sammy. And not Kevin Owens.
No, not Kevin Owens. And I definitely think would be a great way to bring him out. And for myself, I know Joseph has one before I give mine. He says, I can see Sammy versus Chad at Clash of the Castle. Chad was protected by not taking the fall, so that feud can continue. And I 100% agree. And I also think too, with that, to throw in storyline wise, either throw in an Iron Man match or throw it in as a last man standing match at Clash of the Castle. Let them have some type of stipulation where it goes in Chad's favor more for that particular. Now, what I'd like to see though, to help him elevate is two particular people. I think where we can start to see him give us a little more. And this first one, I think also needs it too, so we can change a little bit of his stuff. And I believe him and Finn Balor in a battle for the Intercontinental title would work well match-wise, because of how on the fly Finn is, the way he adapts his style to different things. That would force Sammy to now bring more of that El Generico out. And I think they would work well together in the ring. Now, I will say, though, to be fair, the only light side I see would probably be the story exchange. That's the only thing I can see, maybe a little light when it comes to the in-ring mic stuff. And then them leaning more onto the Judgment Day jumping him. Now, who I'd like to see, secondly, to take him on as a faction, Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross and the Final Testament, because he represents everything that Karrion Kross does not like. And the vignettes that Karrion Kross could give in going against Sammy, I think would be fantastic. And they would give a fantastic match in the ring as well. I think those two type would help him elevate a little bit more, to where it's not so, come on, Sammy, you can survive this match. You could win it. It's like, you'll get put up there to where it's like, hey, man, hey, y'all better be careful when y'all got Sammy in the ring. It's not just that opportunistic type of performance that we've been seeing. I think that's what's pissing me off too.
Okay, so now my wheels are turning since we're talking about this. And I'm getting super excited. If they ever did a Sammy versus like Karrion Kross type of thing, I could definitely see Karrion Kross doing the vignettes. He's very good at doing the vignettes. However, it will feel kind of one-sided. But this is where, like, if I was on the team, I'll kick Sammy in the ass and be like, look, you have to get psychological too. You have to work on pushing all of your character, all of your creativeness into vignettes to make this work, because like I wouldn't want something one-sided, but like I would know that would be like magic, and that would be something that people can gravitate towards it, because they're like, Sammy, you never showed this side before to be this psychological and try to battle Karrion Kross and stuff like that. Like, yeah, man, like I would like to see that, just to be the see the creative side of Sammy, because let's face it. Let's face it, not face it. There's no K in there. Let's face it. Sometimes, right, wrestlers rely on the wrestling ability that they have, which is fine, because a lot of wrestlers can get over on the wrestling ability. They don't really have to talk much on the mic. If they do, it may be like 50%, 40%, and that's fine. They could get over. But you're in WWE now. You've been there, like, I guess, for like 10 years or something like that. You have to change and adapt. You can't just be the same old wrestler and then us doing the whole baby face thing of like, go Sammy, I know you can do it. Oh my God, don't be too hurt. There has to be a change. So
Yeah.
I am excited that you brought up like an idea of Sammy versus Karrion Kross. Like seriously, I would kick him in the ass and be like, yo, go to those vignettes. We got to make some money. We got to make, awesomeness here.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then too, I appreciate that. And then just one more, and I know we'll move on to the next match. One thing I could see too is, I mentioned a Mankind. Imagine Sammy going a Cactus Jack route. One, getting shredded like Finn Balor shredded with the gloves, still the messy beard and the hair, but it's a serious fight tone. It's more grittier when he fights and stuff. Like, yo, I'm going for blood. I don't need the weapons now. I'm not saying he has to go that far with the weapons. Although I wouldn't mind him doing the barbed wire fist and busting that up, and then but I would love to see a more grittier style of Sammy, to where it's like, yo, Sammy gets down. You don't want to step in the ring with Sammy. Sammy gets down when it goes in there. So maybe that's something that he could get pushed to. But like, as you said, like, the character needs to change. We need to see the next evolution of Sammy, or unfortunately, like as a discussion we had, Sammy is going to remain in this B card, and it's not going to be as champion. And it'll be a while before it becomes like that again. So Sammy has to find something new to start switching to. But I wish him all the best. I hope he does have a phenomenal Intercontinental run. And I look forward to seeing who his opponent will be at Clash of the Castle. And if he survives, then who will he take on at SummerSlam? Now, this was our second course. Second course was okay. It was okay. It was like potato soup. It went good with the bread, and it kept us not too filled, but it's just like, all right, let's make this next one a good one. And I don't think it disappointed. We had our first finals King and Queen of the Ring match, and it was for the queenship between Lyra Valkyria and Nia Jax. And just as Honey predicted it within her crystal ball, she called it for the last couple of months. Queen Nia Jax, everyone bow. Please bow and clap for your new Queen of the Ring, Queen Nia Jax. Now, Marie, I gotta ask you, we're going back to this match, which I thought was a very, very great match between rookie and veteran. But now I want to know from you, what were your favorite parts of this match? Did we have some WTFs? And then what would you rate this for this PLE, especially it being Lyra Valkyria's first PLE?
Lyra can go. Like, Lyra has her entrance down packed with coming out with the wings, and it gave her, the smoke and everything. It looked like majestic. I would just, coach her on, like, while she's walking down the ramp, at least, like, if she got to the middle, to at least turn once, because it looks kind of weird of just holding out the wings and just walking. But that's just a tiny little thing. Lyra, like, she's fighting Nia Jax. We could say this is like a David and Goliath type of matchup, but she, like, held her own. She was smart. She was quick on her feet, because you have to be when you're fighting Nia. But Nia is just, like, obviously too strong body-wise and stuff like that. That finish, I was like, damn, you could cave her chest in. What's wrong with you? But luckily, like, there was no reports of anyone getting injured. But rightfully so. Nia is our new Queen of the Ring winner, which was pretty cool. It felt right, it really did. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it an 8. And then there really wasn't no WTFs. Everyone did what they needed to do, and to be smart, and to try to win this match.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And so I'm glad I got your opinion on this. And I now want to also get the opinion on another person that's going to be joining us, Mr. Kyle Collinson. I hope I said the last name right. Everybody know I'll be messing up names on here. And I apologize, sir, if I messed up the last name.
You were close. It's Collison, but you were close. Other than that, dude, I'm doing all right. It's good to be talking some wrestling. TK and I were talking about it. I've had 3 of the craziest weeks of my life here in the last few weeks, but I did get to check out King of the Ring, and I agree with you. I said this, I got to interview Nia Jax when we were in the press junket for Royal Rumble, and I was saying this on Twitter while I was watching it. I agree 110% that Nia needed to win this. Not that it wouldn't have been good for Lyra. I understand that, but I feel like Nia needed this, especially with the way that they're trying to build her as the killer that she used to be. To have her come in and lose to somebody who's fresh off the NXT roster, even if they were a former champion, I just agree completely with what you were saying. I think that Nia needed this. So I feel like definite good mood. And I think the other thing I liked is that the match was I feel like both women had their spots where they got to shine, even though Lyra lost. She had a lot of good spots in there against Nia too. So I think it's a good pick. I think this will help keep Nia relevant, even if you're going to keep her away from the title. Plus, hey, hopefully, knock on wood, I'll be there at SummerSlam in Cleveland. So if she wins the title, I can say I was there for that too. So let's go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I felt the same way too. I am going to. Hold on, Kyle. What would you rate this match 1 out of 10?
I'll give it at least an 8 because I thought it was a really good match. And again, like I was saying, I like the fact that I feel like both people, really got over in it. I feel like even though Lyra got squashed at the end of it, she had plenty of her own spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, and I gotta say, so it's gonna be 8 across the boards because I also agree. I give this a 8 out of 10. Love Lyra's outfit. I do agree with you, Marie, about the holding the wings. But remember,
the wings were badass.
She's the Raven. She is the Raven. So you get your Raven on, girl. I don't care. She should have hit the squawk like me.
I dug the purple boots for Nia too.
The attire was great. Like y'all said, I love the spots that all of them had. Although Lyra did come up short as queen, she took a victory as letting us know that she is a top competitor on the Raw women's side, and that we are looking forward to some great matches with her in the ring. And hopefully, she stays healthy. We don't catch no injury bugs or anything like that. But I just thought this was a great match. I enjoyed the ending, and that's really what the WTF moment is. That Nia has stepped it up.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is the Nia I've been waiting for. This is the wrestler. But I will say, I wish she would have thrown out that line that went viral for her when she fell outside.
I thought she was going to say it when they all zoomed in on her too. I swear I thought I heard that shit when they zoomed in. I'm like, oh shit.
She's going to say it. I was like, she didn't do it. She was just like, that hurt.
Yeah, she's like, oh, that hurt.
I'm glad somebody else besides me thought that because I was like, oh shit, here it comes.
I thought it was coming. You were not alone, Kyle. We thought it was coming. Yep. But I did enjoy how this match went. I enjoyed her now becoming queen because, like you said, Kyle, she did need this. She needed something that she can be able to ride out for the rest of the year. To be honest, even moving into the next year, I can see her having a King Booker type of route with this, especially the way she stepped up her in-ring performance. I also do like, a little bit of the kayfabe being broken when Paul Levesque came out, hugged her, because we do know it has been a real trying time for her. It takes a lot to be a wrestler in the ring, in the back, doing promotions, everything, but it takes a lot to take on the scrutiny of the WWE universe. And believe me, they do not hold back. they say the most craziest stuff. And for her to really have to sit there and be able to take those things, it was just like, yo, it is just great to really see it come full circle for her to be crown queen, to be one of the top heels now on SmackDown with this crown. And I just can't wait to see what she does with it. But I do want to ask the both of you, and I am going to start with you, Marie. Both King and Queen are guaranteed a championship match on their respective brands for SummerSlam. So just even to answer folks like Joseph, if we would get like a Nia versus Roxanne, they did clarify on King and Queen of the Ring that it will be on their respective brands. So it will be Nia versus whoever the WWE Women's Champion is, as Paul Levesque did point out. Because it appears Bayley will be facing someone at Clash of the Castle. Now, it hasn't been said who it's going to be, but we do see Nia going into SummerSlam. But I do now have to ask, what is the percentage you see of Queen Nia walking out as the WWE Women's Champion in SummerSlam?
My brain wants to automatically say not yet, because I need her being queen to sort of fester and like turn full heel and go crazy on people and like do the whole entire thing until she gets it. SummerSlam would be too early to take the belt off of she's on SmackDown, right?
Yes.
Okay, it'll be too early to take it. Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for me, it'll be a little too early for her to take it off of Bayley. However, I do know that her and Bayley can have a really good match. I do know that her and Bayley could tell a really good story and throw some obstacles in her way. But I really do want to see the queen, her being the queen mean something. The same way when we get to talking about who's our king, I want that to mean something. So 40% just to be nice, but it's not happening at SummerSlam.
Okay, now I'll give you that. That's a good percentage. Kyle, how about yourself? What percentage do you see Nia Jax becoming WWE Women's Champion at SummerSlam?
So I'm not going to hold you. Like, I forgot for a second that they said that it had to be on this respective brands, because like I could have definitely seen if it were like her versus Liv Morgan, I could totally see her taking the belt off of Liv. To Marie's point, I don't think that it's time for Bayley to lose it. Then again, we got a couple months between now and SummerSlam, and we'll have to see where this all plays out for Bayley as well. But I guess if we're going percentage wise, I would say I'd say 40-60.
Okay. Say about 40-60. All right. I'm glad we all kind of same minded. I say the same thing, and I think just as
because I don't think she needs, like, to Marie's point, I don't necessarily think that she needs the title right now to keep this going. But if they're not going to have her beat Bayley at SummerSlam, which they still could, but if they're not going to have her beat Bayley at SummerSlam, like, she needs to be like dominant as fuck with winning this whole Queen of the Ring thing. She needs to be bougie as fuck and beat the fuck out of some people, and just really needs to live that up. She needs to be a major character on SmackDown for that to have anything to make any sense.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I will say too, mine does sit at a 40-50 just because SummerSlam isn't until
You're missing
August.
10%. Can't be 40-50, cheater. I didn't get to have a mulligan. What do you mean?
I like you caught that, huh? I like you caught that, huh? I'm gonna go
I'm a
40,
betting man. God damn it. That's not fair. He's still leaving a 10% chance out that he gets to win even though he picked his odds. It don't work that way. What the fuck?
I'm gonna give a 43%. 43%. Just because, like you said, she's been champion.
Number.
I know. I was I'm gonna go odd as fuck with it. But like you said though, too, she just won the belt in April, and SummerSlam is in August. That's still a run to have to where. So if they switched it over, it's like, okay, you didn't had it for at least close to half a year. But I agree with you, although I don't think it's time yet. I do want to see the Queen Nia stretch go. I want to see her.
See, but again, that kind of goes back to what I'm saying, though. I agree with you 100%. Like, we need to see the stretch, but it all depends on how the Queen of the Ring thing and the King of the Ring, vice versa, how those are, like, depicted, right? Because I don't know if anybody else thought this, but another thing that kind of, like, popped through my head, while I also thought it was dope the way that they acknowledged the fact that Zelina was the, the first women King of the Ring. What the fuck, Queen of the Ring? You know what I was trying to say. Anyways, but my point is, I like the way that they acknowledge that, but after a while, Zelina's run kind of like wore out, right? Like, it was hot for a little while, and then it kind of just ran out. So, like, to me, it all depends on how big of a deal they really make the King and Queen of the Ring. Now, I do believe this being the one with Triple H, the first one with Triple H really kind of being at the helm of it, and him being a former King of the Ring winner himself. I do think that they're going to make that a bigger deal, especially by evidence of them saying, okay, you get a title shot at SummerSlam, because I don't think that used to be a thing. If I'm not mistaken, with King of the Ring, it was just you won the tournament. So I think by them doing that, that's immediately giving it a little bit more importance, I guess is the word. But again, it just all depends on how that looks in between now and then. But then again, even to play devil's advocate, now you could do it to where, like, in the same way we talk about with WrestleMania, since it's SummerSlam just got announced as 2 nights, you could have the Queen of the Ring main event one night, and then the King of the Ring main event the other night. So,
that's true. No, not at all. And to the mayor's point, who has joined us in the chat, it was one and only time where that did happen, where the King of the Ring got a championship match, and that was Brock Lesnar taking on The Rock at SummerSlam for the undisputed title, and pretty much sent his ass packing to Hollywood after that match was over. So,
I don't know that I'd want to get beat up by Brock Lesnar again either. I'm just saying.
No, you made the right decision. You were like, yo, I'll take the cushy millions and let the stunt double do the stunt.
I was there when Brock Lesnar won the UFC title, and even though that punch didn't even look like it hit him completely 100% flush, when I saw how big his gloves were after the fight, fuck that. That's like getting hit with a motherfucking lunch pail. Okay, I'm all right.
Yes, it is. But I'm gonna ask because we have been doing a little fandom fiction here on the show. So I'm gonna start with you, Kyle, and asking, as you said, we want this Queen of the Ring run to be important as well as the King. So I would ask you, now that she's queen, what opponent does she need now to go into a rivalry with to make this queenship actually mean something on SmackDown? And who do you think could help do that?
I mean, you have names obviously a lot of people talked about how they felt as though like the Jade Cargill match with her was kind of a little off. So I would naturally say Jade, but I would say more so along the lines of like a Bianca Belair would be good. You could do, trying to think of the roster on SmackDown. And especially since she has to go up against Bayley for the title. I mean, dude, you could just have her run through and clean out Damage Control real quick.
Well, Damage Control's on Raw now.
Okay. I forgot about that. I was thinking because of that was Lyra that beat EO. Okay, never mind. I got my semifinals mixed up. Don't mind me. But the first name that comes off the top of my head would be Bianca or somebody like that. But I mean, at this point and with this run that she has, I feel like everybody kind of realizes like Nia is OG is not the right word, but that top, like they know that she's one of the top talents at this point. Again, it all comes back to the same point I was trying to make. It all just depends on how Nia is booked, which so far she's been booked as a killer. So for me, that's all really what it comes down to. It's just how she's booked. But as far as names, Bianca would be one of the first ones that jumps off the page at you. We don't know where Charlotte is gonna go when she comes back, so that could be like another name that could come back to try to mess with her, especially since she calls herself the Queen. I don't know. That would be the name off the top of my head, I guess, would be Bianca.
Okay. And then Marie, what about you?
So I'm actually looking at the SmackDown roster because I can't remember everybody. So Naomi could be one to start this off because if Nia wants to get to the champion, right? Why not start taking out the friends, and past friends?
That
and
was
stuff.
another name I thought of. Good pick.
Yeah. The other thing too is that we have Michin on the SmackDown roster. This could be a very big opportunity for her to go against Nia Jackson, create something so that way fans can resonate with her because most of the time it's like, I don't know what else she does other than being like the manager or valet to the Good Brothers. So I want to see more of Michin because, WWE signed her, do something with her other than like what they've been putting her in. And then obviously Jade and Bianca, and then it's also Indy Hartwell too to give her a little bit of a boost. Really, my mic is very farty.
It sounds like there's a little bit of a
yeah. It's thank you for letting me know my mic is very farty. It's not really low battery. But yeah, those are the ones that I would see that would be a very good story.
Yeah.
It's probably like the internet, but
yeah,
I can't really do anything on my
end. Because it stopped, then it started again. So it's just like I don't know if it's the internet doing it or what. Because you were clear for a little bit, and then it went back to the.
It's because I jumped in. Hot damn it!
Probably, Kyle. Probably.
Everybody blames me anyway, especially since I'm having to take care of some stuff family wise. Usually, if it's a problem, it's got to be my fault.
Well, I'm not gonna blame you here on this.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I knew I liked you guys anyway.
Hopefully that clears up. But there's also like Tiffany Stratton. Like we'll just see how they like book her. But she does have to be dominant. She does have to
I want to ask you guys something about that because you bring up a point. So you bring up Tiffany Stratton, even though they showed her in the crowd. I wonder how much heat she's gonna catch because of that post with Jade, especially with how much that they're hyping Jade and Bianca right now. Yeah, they still showed her in the crowd, but like I wonder if we're talking about Nia, I feel like Nia's path is gonna kind of have to go through Bianca and them. So I wonder if they would integrate a Tiffany Stratton into that storyline because of all the shit, or are they gonna just try to keep her out the way a little bit to let shit blow over?
I think a little bit of both. I think a little bit of both, just because if it was a blowback, and I think it is just kind of dying down now, we wouldn't have gotten a match like we had with her and Bianca. It would have been more leaning to where Bianca won. Like it really showed us when they had their qualifying match, Tiffany could have won that. And normally you kind of see those politics come into play a little bit, but to have her there to consistently keep promoting her on television and to even show her in the crowd, I think they're still working her, but they are still kind of remaining cautious. But again, too, her and Nia are good friends. Like they do a whole bunch of TikToks together, and Nia does have that pull as an OG. So I think there is some way of maybe Nia kind of putting her under her wing to keep her a little protected and making that work in the way that it needs to be. So only we'll see though. We'll see coming up on SmackDown how they use Tiffy time when this Friday.
Yeah, I do think that whole situation was just really blown out of proportion because it was just really, really weird. But I don't really think that she has the heat that the internet wrestling community think that she should have. Because if anything, Bianca and Jay would have made their feelings known to like management and be like, "Yo, this isn't okay" or whatever. Like something would have happened in the back. But their paths are gonna cross, and if their paths cross, most likely, maybe Jade or Bianca will throw a stiff forearm to be like, next time don't do that, just so the fans could be happy. But I think that their paths are gonna cross. It's not gonna be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I agree. And I will say too, I would love to see as far as like what we're doing as far as Nia queenship goes, I would not mind seeing another match kind of like how she did with Lyra. I'd love to see her and Blair Davenport, who's new on the SmackDown. I think that they could have some good runs, but I want to see Nia blow through everybody.
Yeah,
I think she has to a degree. like
And-
to rebuild her.
Yeah, and one other thing they should throw in, and I know it may be too much, I'm saying it. Queen Nia joins the bloodline.
I would not be mad at that at all. I'd love to see Naomi join the fucking bloodline, to be honest with you. Although at this point, and this is maybe a topic for another time, I've been saying this for a few weeks. Those of you guys who have seen me over here before, usually I'm on knockouts and 3 counts, but like I said, been dealing with some family stuff. But with all that being said, I think what we could eventually end up seeing, at least in that vein with what you're saying, I think that there's a good chance that we could see like Jimmy, Jay, Naomi, and like Roman side, and then like, you know, or somehow like Nia could be integrated that way. Like you have like a female on each side of the family. I feel like that's the only way I really see that at this point, because I feel like as far as the bloodline thing goes, although total sidebar, shout out to my guy Juicy J Henderson, who got the job done in 17 seconds in the fight last night. But dude, there were 2 motherfuckers that walked out to Roman Reigns theme, and 2 motherfuckers lost quick. I was like, God damn it. You did all this to come out and the one guy's like doing the whole pose and shit when he comes out. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? If you're going to do the whole thing, you got to win. I mean, that's just a story for another side. But like I said, I think the only way that works, and I like that idea, and I've been saying that for a long time, but I think the only way that works at this point with how everything is if we get like the bloodline civil war, which is what I think we're headed for. But that's the only way I could really see them. If they haven't entered like Naomi by now, I think that's the only way we see it, although I'd be all for it.
Yeah, I would too. And then you always make sure you got to get approval from your tribal chief before you just play and come out to his music. That's why you lost, because you didn't acknowledge him and ask for permission. That's why that happened. And if
was such a double-edged sword for me, bro. As like the MMA guy, I loved to hear like my 2 worlds crossing. Like I was telling people while we were sitting there, shout out to my guy Anthony Coleman, who's also a pro wrestler and a fighter as well. But we were talking about this, and I'm like, dude, how come nobody ever rocks like the old school Stone Cold theme, the Glass Shatters one from Disturbed? Like I feel like that would be one of the most badass fight songs that you could, dude. Say what you want, but man, that was my shit in the day. So like
I love that one. That was one of my favorites.
I could totally come out to a fight to that, but that's a story. That's a whole other topic.
You can't lose. You gotta be the baddest fighter if you come out to that, because you cannot lose with that song playing as your intro. Like you gotta come and rain fire hell in that match.
You have to win by knockout via Stone Cold Stunner.
You do.
You gotta punch him. Let him.
And you gotta have a beer bash after that. Shout out to my guy Mondo. They wanted me to throw him beers from the commentary table. I'm like, you just better not miss him.
Yes, indeed, man. But again, much congratulations though to Nia Jax. Now you're official queen of the ring. We still got 2 more matches to talk about and 2 more other stories to talk about from King and Queen of the Ring. But first, you know we got to pay these bills. So let's go ahead and jump into.
Except Colby Covington's an asshole. I agree with that. I love the fact that he comes out to Kurt Angle's theme song, but he's an asshole and he keeps losing.
Oh my god.
You can't play greats if you not winning, man.
I mean, look, I would bet that Kurt Angle probably was a fan of Colby Covington because of the way he fights and he's such a wrestler. But dude, Colby's been on a skid lately. So I'm gonna need my man to get some W's if you're gonna keep using the Olympic Heroes theme. Although here's a fact: do either of you guys know that the Kurt Angle almost fought in the UFC?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
yeah. He was supposed to be on the Ultimate Fighter, but he had just signed his contract with TNA. And he told the UFC pretty much like, I can't, like back in the day, you would come on the Ultimate Fighter and you didn't really make a lot of money. That was really like how you got into the UFC, because they didn't have like the Contender Series and all that stuff. But obviously with it being somebody like Kurt Angle, it's like, look, I can't do this if I'm not getting paid. So, you know, and so you know, you had that, but it was almost a thing that he almost ended up on the same season of The Ultimate Fighter with Kimbo.
Mm.
That's wild. That is wild. That man, just the thought of that career. Shoot. But okay, but we're going to be right back. Let's get into this merch commercial real quick, and then we're going to get back with some more wrestling talk.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to www talkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
That ad was sponsored by Perk Angle and a UFC career that could have been excellent.
Perk Angle was a bad motherfucker for those that missed his run in TNA. That's all I'm gonna say. Like Kurt Angle definitely did some of his best shit in TNA. Like Perk Angle versus AJ Styles. Go back and watch it.
Yes, what it was? Who did he fight? Abyss. When that man kicked that front off the stage, I was like, yo, Kurt Angle.
And almost landed on his feet. Like, where the fuck did Kurt get this from?
He's a cat.
Like, yo, I say, them perks are perking the night.
Percolating. Let's go. Perk Angle.
Yo, bro, that was some of my favorites, man. But we're going to keep it pushing into the next finals in the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, and it was between the Ring General Gunther versus the Apex Predator himself, Randy Orton. And so many people believe that, you know, with the way Randy Orton has had 14 title reigns, has been an Intercontinental Champion, a U.S. Champion, a Tag Team Champion, Royal Rumble winner. The only thing missing is winning King of the Ring. And we thought with that 10-minute intro that he had with the entire Jeddah singing his entire song, serenading him to the ring, that he was going to pull out the last bit that he has not achieved. But the Ring General had other plans and let people know that, hey, just because I lost that Intercontinental title does not mean my reign doesn't end. It ain't stopping. I'm still dominating, and now have a future World Heavyweight Championship match against either a champion that we will be talking about right after this match. But Kyle, I'm gonna start with you. The way we've been doing these matches is, what was the good that you liked about it? What was a WTF moments that you had, if any, in this match? And what did you rate this match 1 out of 10?
I would give this one 8 or 8.5. I just want to say I was 2 for 2 on my picks for this. Go check it out on Twitter to see it for yourself. But I like this because anyone that watches our show, I've been following Gunther back when he used to be called Walter, and seeing him wrestle in everywhere from Knights of Columbus's to seeing this and getting to interview the guy in the press conference. I've said it all along, dude. Like, Gunther is money, and Gunther has finally started to develop like the speaking skills and all that with it. Like, I said this as soon as he lost the Intercontinental title. I said, when he loses the Intercontinental title, god damn it, he needs to be kept hot. And I feel like him doing this way, in the same way we said with the Queen of the Ring that we didn't think that it was time for Bayley to lose it. I'm saying it right here and now, and I'm sure I'll talk about it on Knockouts of 3 Counts before we get to SummerSlam. But I think that Gunther definitely could take that title off of Damian Priest at SummerSlam. I believe that 110%. I think they see the faith in Gunther. I'm not trying to hate on Priest because, again, I've been a fan of his since he was Punishment Martinez. So, like, I was happy for Dude to win the title at WrestleMania as well. Ring the bell. I was there for that too. But with that being said, I think Gunther is like the perfect person to win the King of the Ring, especially with him having the European flair to it. Like, dude, I could just totally see him being a straight asshole and like beating the dog shit out of everybody. So I'm with it. I think Gunther was the right choice, and I think there's a good chance that he's winning that belt.
All right. Marie, same questions.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, I would have liked to have like King Tama, just because Tama's my favorite, and I'm a little biased towards Tama, but that's just me. However, I am happy that we got Randy Orton versus Gunther because, like, man, Randy Orton has been everywhere, all over the world, and he's a testament to staying in professional wrestling with longevity. And to fight Gunther was really great to watch. And then, like, Randy experiencing like how hard Gunther hits, because like bruises started to show up, and I was like, damn. um, yeah. I would say that this would be a 9 for me, like a 9 out of 10, because I really, really enjoyed the back and forth. I really enjoyed the urgency. I really enjoyed how Randy just, takes control of like the story, and then you have Gunther. And then, also Randy Orton taking his sweet time around the ring and letting the fans sing to him. I'm surprised Gunther had like the same face. At that point, I would have been like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's taking forever to get here. I will say, though, that like because they were playing up Randy's knee injury, or like whatever it is at this point, when Gunther goes and does the crucifix to get the win, Randy's shoulder was like technically up. So I don't know, like that was a weird controversy and whatnot. And I was just like, oh man, But luckily, we're gonna get like that rematch coming up soon, because Triple H was like, "Yo, we're gonna do that again," just so that way there's no asterisk, because it does kind of feel now it's kind of an asterisk on Gunther and whatnot. But that's like the only WTF moment, because I really wanted Randy Orton to like win. It'd be kind of cool to have King Randy. But then now thinking about it, I don't know what he would have done as like his first order of business. We all know like Gunther's first order of business is to call everyone probably like peasants and try to take over the roster and be like, I am your king now. He graduated from general to king, which is pretty like, deep with like history and shit like that. Like, I'm all for Gunther and his reign right now. But yeah, that's basically what I have on this match.
To start off with my rating, I also
Okay.
give this a 9 out of 10. I'm a little salty about this match. Now, don't get me wrong. I am like Kyle. I've been rocking with Gunther since he was Walter, when he was my size, and then got to where he's at now. No disrespect to Gunther at all.
Mm-hmm.
Randy was fucking robbed.
Yeah,
Fuck
I'm gonna agree with
that ref.
Okay,
for messing that up.
Let me interject something though, bro. We like she was just saying, okay, say Randy wins, and we don't know what Randy would have went after first. But look at it this way. Again, is this just another example of WWE storytelling? I mean, again, let's remember who's at the helm of things with Triple H. And I mean, now this gives Gunther something completely relevant for him to be able to, to get into. I mean, I know he's on Raw, but what says that Randy can't go over there and be like, fuck that, you didn't really beat me?
No, that's true. That's true. That's why I'm like, that's why I use the word being salty about it, because everything that y'all said about Gunther's win and what he can do, it all makes sense. So this is totally being biased of me being a Randy fan, because King RKO just got a nice ring to it. But as you said, this builds Gunther a little better to as far as how he decides to wear it within Raw. I still feel though, even too, because of how dominant he was, there's not a full necessity of him needing it. Like, I had no problem with this man walking up to Damian Priest and go, you, me, SummerSlam. And that just being the match, because that's just how bad Gunther is. But again, as you just said, Kyle, it is all about the storytelling. And this makes the storytelling a lot better than it would be with Randy. I just do not like how it ended. Do not like that shoulder
I feel you
up. That was it.
Yep.
I really wish the ref would have caught it and then tried to go after something else and then allowed Gunther to put him in a Boston Crab, kind of like how he did Coffee, and
Or
then
something. Yeah.
or something of that manner. It's just that's the only thing that irks me about it is that they gave such a dominant performance. Randy did such a great job putting Gunther over. And for that mess up to happen, it just really.
But we don't know if it was a mess up too, though, because remember, we've seen this happen how many times where somebody's arms up, their shoulders up, they don't get the full pin. So we got to wait and see what they do with it.
Yeah, but this one was too obvious. This one was like,
Yeah.
I mean, there were other ones I could point out that were pretty fucking obvious too, that we went with. So I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just again. This is coming from a completely salty part. Yes, I know they will find a way to clear it up, clean it up, everything of like how you said, because it doesn't take anything for Randy to go back and say, hey, let's run this back again and let's see who really would have won. It's still there, especially with all the clout he has in the back. It just irks me that it was all good. Like it's kind of like, we've been calling these like courses at a restaurant. Like you didn't had a good steak. And every time you bite it, that last part is kind of, ooh, hold on. What was that sauce that they use at the end? Ooh, got kind of a twang to it. The steak was good, but I don't know that sauce that they use. It didn't kind of hit me. But I am glad that Gunther is champ, not champ, but King of the Ring, just because of what y'all said. This new generation, this new era of Triple H being able to be at the helm. I'm glad they did it like this, allowing I don't want to call him newcomer because he is still a veteran in this game himself, but allowing this new face of a generation to stand tall, and I think he will do more as King of the Ring.
So to your point, though, before we go to the next match, though, my other reason for Gunther, I feel like needing to win it is like with him kind of crossing over from that Intercontinental path to, being in the world title picture. Like I kind of feel like they needed something to move him over and be like, okay, even though all of us who know him were like, yo, this dude is Gunther, like we talked about with Walter, I think him winning the King of the Ring gives him that like, okay, oh shit, this guy's like legit, like a main eventer, like legit, a world title threat. And now with the added thing of knowing now that we know he has a world title match, I mean, it's kind of hard to look at him any other way.
No, you're right. And I think too, to your point with that, it now takes him out of any speculation of the safety of being a champ. Like, some people will always say, like, because of him being dominant, they're going to keep him on this run. They're going to make him look like that. Now this is a guy who's having regular matches with no championship stipulation and is still dominating, still picking up these wins no matter what, without having a title around him. And also, to your point of him being king, I can see him beating every person he beats and forcing them to bow to him. Like, kneel before your king after I done whooped you. Kneel to me.
Oh my God. It's going to be like,
I could just see him stepping on people's neck.
That too. That too. Like just having the foot on the chest and then
let him have like the old school Harley race, like cape coat thing with the crown and just be like, all hail, bitch.
Yeah.
All hail.
Yeah.
Now that's the question I wanted to know because Honey brought this up as well as the mayor when we talked about this, and they were right that they were like, Gunther ain't gonna put that crown on. So I want to know.
Let him hold it. Let him hold it and just have like the cape over his
like,
shit.
Hold
like,
it,
fuck
like,
this
like
crowd.
hold on his hand. Yeah.
That's what I was like. How do y'all see him walking out now?
Well, Triple H never wore the crown either. Triple H beat the dog shit out of Mick Foley with it when he won.
Well, we're gonna have Kaiser. Kaiser's gonna hold the crown for him as both of them walk out. I would like to talk about Joseph's comment here because it's kind of interesting. He said, "Would Gunther have gotten into the World Heavyweight Championship picture anyway without this? The stipulation feels like they were trying to justify it." Now, what I would like to say to that is that I think this is a better way for him to get into the world title picture because it's not him just going to Damian Priest and be like, I'm going to challenge you like every other person does. It's fine if Drew does it because Drew has a reason why to do it. But because Gunther won the King of the Ring, and he's having the crown, and he's gonna probably just tell everybody they're peasants and beat up everybody and like put his foot on their neck. It gives him more of a valid reason to be like, "Oh, you're not world heavyweight material. I am, because I did all of this. You're here busy with Judgment Day, worrying about everybody else, worrying about Drew, and I'm here trying to make my name better than yours." So I don't think it was like trying to justify it, but I think it'll make it legit when he
I think he was headed for the title either way, like you said. But I think by doing it this way, I think now he can say, like, "Look, dude, I just beat." And again, I like the way the matches were put together too. I think it was the right two people in the finale too, because I feel like this way, by him getting a win over a guy like Randy, gives him instant credibility. And the fact that they're on different shows, now it would make Randy have to move around to really get back at him, but Gunther can pretty much sit and pick his shot. And like I said, I think out of the two of them, between Nia and Gunther, I see more of Gunther being like that snobby king, except the snobby king that could beat the dog shit out of you.
Yeah,
somebody might be losing a nipple sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah. I see him more. I see him more being that to the wrestlers, and Nia being more like that to the crowd. Bow to me, universe, your queen, as he will be like, "Yo, can you please get your foot off my neck? The match is over. I can't breathe and my chest burns. Please get off me, King Gunther, please." But yes, congratulations to King Gunther becoming the king of the ring, and we look forward to seeing who he will face as the world heavyweight champion, because we don't know if it is going to be Damian Priest, because after this match, Caleb Braxton interviewed Triple H, and we have found out that it has been made official that we will have the world heavyweight championship defended at Clash at the Castle. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, June 14th in his homeland of Scotland. Now I want to know, Marie, I want to know who's walking out as champion.
Man, I don't know, man. If Drew keeps losing, like, I don't know where else they're gonna go. And I like Damian Priest as well, man. But I mean, I think I want Damian to do another chase, because he didn't properly do a chase with that Money in the Bank briefcase. I guess my heart will probably put it on McIntyre, but my mind is like, I don't think they're going to give it to him, but they can't do this twice in a row of not letting McIntyre walk out with some type of championship title in his hometown. So I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go with Drew. I'm sorry, Damian.
Okay. I feel you. I'm going to throw my pick in there real quick, because I agree with JD Smith that Punk cost him the match, and that's how he loses. I don't think he loses in a straight clean. I think CM Punk comes and interferes, and then we get Drew versus Punk at SummerSlam, so that way it doesn't make him look too bad. Because just what you said, like, you can't lose clean again. If you lose again, like, you starting to become the whole Chosen One run again, and we don't really want to see that. But I think just because of the other things that they're doing with Damian behind the scenes, as far as branding goes, as far as opening themselves up to newer markets and using him as the face, I don't necessarily see them ending it so quickly, because that's in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Like, we don't have enough time for us to build that up for it to drop to him. Yes, we've already had it kind of built with like, oh, you cost me my championship, when it was more of CM Punk that cost it to you. So it's now one of those, like, let me give you a match and show you why I stand as champion. So I'm going to say Priest, off of the sole fact that we are going to get Punk and Drew at SummerSlam. But Kyle, I want to hear your thoughts. Does Drew take the victory in his hometown? His homeland, or does he take another L over there in Scotland to Damian Priest?
He's got to get screwed by Punk. If he's not beating Priest, he's got to get screwed by Punk. Like, I agree 100% with the comment that Boza just had on there. Like, in a lot of ways, I want to say Drew needs to win this, and how better for him to win it than Clash at the Castle. But if you do that and have Priest lose that quickly, it's going to make Priest look badly. Where if you do like what you're talking about with CM Punk, have CM Punk screw him over, you've got the whole thing for Drew to be like, you finally make some sense and you finally give me the title shot that I rightfully deserved, and I get fucked in my own country because of CM Punk. Give me CM Punk now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that way he never really got a fair title shot. Still gives him something to bitch about. Gives us the Punk versus Drew match, which is I think the big match for them to put together at like a SummerSlam or something like that. It's the only way that makes sense. If not, Drew needs to win because he can't look bad in his own country.
Yeah. No, it has to be something like that. It has to be something that cost him again. And I think just the CM Punk
Punk's healed now, so
yeah. And this gives us more than enough time to have them have more than one match too. So it's like it doesn't even have to necessarily wait until SummerSlam either. It could be at Money in the Bank. It could be at another PLE before we get to SummerSlam, where we have, I think, the conclusion of Punk and Drew would be at SummerSlam. So we shall see. We shall see who's going to pull it out. And we've already given our picks. But now, something I do want to talk about as well that happened at King and Queen of the Ring. Now, we have been speculating for the last 2 weeks if we were going to get our first appearance of Uncle Howdy. And
that shit's definitely coming.
Yeah, and as a lot of y'all know, we are big Howdy fans over here. Howdy even took over the show one time. All right. Don't know how it happened. Don't know why it happened. But somehow it got affected over here, and they have been doing an incredible job of leaving these breadcrumbs and QR codes here for us. And of course, how could I not be your councilman if I did not pull up the latest QR code video that premiered on King and Queen of the Ring? So I'm going to take y'all to that video, and then we're going to discuss it right after this.
I love this game. Hello? Hello?
Creepy as ever. Does anyone have initial thoughts on this?
I didn't get to see it, so I can't comment. But that's why I was asking in the chat. Is it playing like
Oh.
Dang. Yeah, see, and I don't know how they play it here to be able to. Man, hold on. Let me see if maybe...
I saw it. I have no idea how you didn't see it.
all I see on my screen is the McIntyre versus Priest graphic.
Man, yeah, how you didn't see it? So you saw it? You saw it playing?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, because I saw it playing too when they took me off.
My screen has still got us three on the side and the Priest thing.
Okay,
that's weird.
Well, just to give a description too for the folks that may be listening to it on audio, it showed a whole bunch of like random screens of like connecting, showed a few of the symbols that we have seen from Uncle Howdy, and then it showed what looked like a Instagram story of someone playing WWE 2K. Now, not sure what edition of 2K it was, but they were playing the game and saying that they loved this game, and then proceeded to get up turn around to the window of their home. There was a glare from the flashlight on the phone, and it seemed like there was a figure either outside as well as inside of the house. It cuts, and then it shows some other small little images as well, one being a hallway inside a room with someone also standing there, and then connection loss.
So I guess I'm hearing in the comments, apparently my stuff got hacked, apparently, I guess, but
hey man, I guess Uncle Howdy ain't ready for you to see just yet. He's like,
apparently, yeah. All I'm seeing is it's still got Drew and Priest in front of me. But yeah, dude, I can't wait to see this shit. I think they need to do it. I've heard all the rumors of Eric Rowan being at the Performance Center. I'm with this shit. Like they need to bring this on. And there's already like a first feud already kind of built in for them since they're letting Jey Uso use the Fireflies now. Like I'm all for this. I love the horror movie shit. I loved it when they were doing all the stuff when Bray was doing it. I'm all for it. Bring back Bo as Uncle Howdy and give him Rowan and put Braun Strowman back in there. Let them be the new damn Wyatt family. I'm with it. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Marie, what about you?
So this may or may not like bite me in the ass, but like I don't really like horror that much. Like videos like that freak me out. So I had to like turn on my Xbox to get a little bit more light because like everything's so dark and shit. It's all good. Like I've been training myself mentally to like watch videos like that, to watch like people who go ghost hunting, just so that way I can like not be sort of uneasy with like fucking videos like that. But I'm all for the ride. I love when fans, go after the QR code and like post up the videos, post up the pictures. I'm a huge fan of that, but I just don't do the digging myself. But it kind of made me feel old because it was like dial up and like, I had dial up at one point and I'm just like, fuck, man, like, okay, right. But it's a small little video. But yeah, I had to turn on my Xbox for like some type of fucking like calm me down. It's all good. No worries. I'm not really upset about it, but I saw it. I was just like, oh god, no. Because you know what? I was waiting for a jump scare. I was waiting for like some type of jump scare to get me that you guys would have like laughed your ass off because I probably would have just reacted to it. But seriously, I had like no lights on and then all this kind of shit. So yeah, it's all good.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm in broad daylight when I watch these. I'm like, we don't do this at night. I'm with you. I'm like, dude, I live alone. You're not gonna have me hearing these creepy sounds at night and hear some dial-up tone pop up while I'm asleep. No.
Yeah.
But I will say though, I am a huge fan of this. Like I said, I've been a huge fan of Bray Wyatt. And so, hey, don't you do that, JD Smith? Don't you do that?
Yeah, I know.
Don't you do that? You gonna have don't do that.
Yeah.
But I also started doing some digging about this video. And so some of the videos they were talking and they were asking us, do you want to meet them in one of his videos? Which of course we're talking about, like they've always talked about doing the Wyatt Six. And for myself, I've been calling them now the Children of Wyatt due to his passing and stuff. What I came to a conclusion of, this was our first snippet of Nikki Cross being a part of the Wyatt Six. Because if you listen closely, the person sounds like former WWE wrestler Killian Dane. And I went looked up
with that shit too.
Yeah, and I went looked up it, and it sounds slightly like him. Now, again, it could be off, could be wrong. This is just my theory. But also, when I looked in the window, and you see the reflection before it goes off, that person is very short in the doorway. Not the one before it says connection lost, but the one prior in the reflection of the window. If you go back and watch it, I'm not going to play it again. But if you watch it, that person is very short and kind of stouty. And so it looks like Nikki Cross. And this could be one of the first things of like, hey, could she have gotten her letter that we saw within the Twitch stream that premiered this week of someone writing letters that had tape wrapped around them and stuff? And the fact, yo, JD, if it's Hornswoggle, I'll lose my shit. If it is Hornswoggle, I'll laugh my ass off. That would be hilarious. But I think this may be one of the first steps we've gotten, especially since they didn't reveal anybody physically at Saudi Arabia. This may be one of the first inklings we get of who is going to be a part of the Wyatt Six. Now, again, this is all theory, could be completely wrong, but from the figure I saw in the window, it looked like that could have been Nikki Cross standing in that window pane. And I just think it's crazy of that Killian is no longer in the WWE, to have that shown and then to see that as her being the takeover. And then the last little bit of static that they showed finally figured out what that was. Everybody kept looking at it like it was this figure of a mask and stuff like that. That is Bo Dallas's teeth. I finally stopped it and I looked and I was like, that look like teeth. And it's just in the reverse filter. Then I went and looked online. I was like, I bet anything that's just Bo smiling real close, like just up like this. And they done distorted it to where it looks like that. But I've been very like in the rabbit hole when it comes to this stuff. Was not disappointed with the new one. And I'm just ready. I'm just ready for them to wreak havoc across the WWE. Yeah, and that's it. I'm just ready, but I will say though that if not within this next week or in this at least upcoming 2 weeks, preferably before we get to Clash of the Castle, I need to see the actual WWE start interacting with these symbols. Like, for one, they've been feeding it to us with the QR codes. Now I need to see it implemented into the storyline of WWE itself. I need to start seeing some of the superstars seeing some of these symbols, like being in the interview and the TV kind of fizzles and Montez's like,
yeah.
You saw okay, maybe I'm tripping. Those type of things. I think that should be the next step rather than trying to present a person. So only time will tell. But I know we're kind of getting to our marker, so I'm gonna go to the final match of the night. Cody Rhodes.
I like it.
Logan Paul, the WWE Championship. I don't like how much I like this match.
Okay.
I don't.
Man, just stop hating and let it be known that Logan Paul's better than people want to give him credit for. I mean, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the motherfucker either, but
no, it's completely that. Like, I just know Logan Paul is an asshole, but if you are a hater, if you tell me that you cannot respect what he does in that ring, like, he is a complete asshole, but he backs his stuff up. And that's one thing that I will always give him respect for, is because he will show up and show out. And he did that same thing here. I just get sick of the nepotism and the power that he has that they do this. Because again, I used to wrestle. So just watching this man consistently keep getting title shots because he has 90 million followers.
Okay, just, again, I gotta chime in on this, man. So I agree with you on that, except here's the thing. I got to be there when the guy debuted at WrestleMania. I got to be there in Detroit when he had the match at SummerSlam. I got to be there for a lot of the big matches he's had. And to your point, what you also said, in that the guy's a fucking athlete. And like that frog splash that he hit out to the table like that, son of a bitch, dude. The guy's an athlete, number one. So first of all, there needs to be some respect put on this guy's name as an athlete. But here's the only thing I'll say. Our show covers combat sports and all those things as well. So I've been having the same problem with the Paul brothers for a long time. But here's the one thing that's undeniable. Those motherfuckers got a lot of people that watch them. There ain't no other way to put it. There's a lot of people who watch what he's doing. And good publicity, bad publicity, even the shit that he's got going on with Ryan Garcia right now. It's all more stuff that's talking about Logan Paul. Now, yes, to Boza's point in the comments, could it have had something to do with the Saudi princes? Yeah, but I honestly believe in this case it has more to do with the fact that Logan Paul warrants the eyes that make him a main event person. Because you being a wrestler, you also know this. Who puts asses in seats? Or in our case in 2024, who gets the eyes on social media? And every time this fucking guy is on social media, it blows up. So, I mean, as much as I say all I do on the show all the time about, Jake Paul and Logan Paul and this whole debacle with fucking Mike Tyson, look, man, those two guys are money. And I think if WWE is smart before the Paul train kind of like fizzles out, we need to see Jake Paul back in there again.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind a tag match with them or something like that. Joseph, I do have to disagree with this one. They're not booking him like Ronda because Logan Paul can actually put on a show. He's actually entertaining to watch. That's why I said, like, he plays this well because I cannot stand him, which makes you be a great heel. Which shows that, like, yo, you know this business. It's nothing like that. And that's the one thing I will say, like, there's a difference between not liking a person's personality of being an a-hole, yes. But for anyone to say that he doesn't take this business seriously, that's not true. Although it's being, that's how it's played with Cody saying the stuff and everything like that. Nah. Outside of that, that's not true. This man is in the ring. This man has a ring that comes with him to his workstations when he works. This man takes this thing very seriously. And the fact that all of the people that he has wrestled, you cannot tell me that there's not one thing you remember that Logan Paul has done in any of these matches. This man has shown why having someone that was not a traditional wrestler moving into a part-time position can hold the title. Do I like it? Part of me does not. Just because, again, I am a traditional wrestler. So, yes, it's going to bug me about that. But the same thing that, to Kyle's point of what we've talked about with previous matches, we're in a new era where, of course, social media is a huge part of being a WWE superstar, and you cannot deny that he is a megastar there, and he's just proving to be a megastar here. And even after tonight's match going up against Cody Rhodes, these dudes told a very great story in the ring. And I hate that I have to say this, man, but Logan Paul now has 100% of my respect. I said it out loud.
Look, man, it's hard to say because, again, I'm a fight guy, and I'm between this stuff that's about to happen with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I'm in the same boat, but I mean, dude, like, as far as Logan, I'm about tired of all the fights with Jake Paul. Quite frankly, the fact that this fight with him and Mike Tyson is now a pro fight drives me the fuck nuts.
Yeah,
but the match, to the point, there you go. The match. Dude, he showed up in every big match he's been supposed to be in. Like, what do you say? What can you realistically say? It's not. It would be different if the guy got in these matches and just fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened.
It hasn't.
It hasn't happened.
Nope. And if anything, I even mentioned it when he wrestled, I believe, Kevin Owens. What made me mad was the fact of that they were still having him use brass knucks to win. I was like, yo, this guy is good enough to finish off with a real finisher. Give him one. Let him win this in a different dirty tactic, or let him win clean straight because of how well he's doing in this ring. And I was just, and I, again, I hate to have to say this about him, but it was just like, why did you have to be so good? Why did you have to be so good?
I mean, he's a good heel too, man, because even with all the shit they did with the brass knuckles.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen shit like that with William Regal and everybody else? You know what? Again, to Boza's point, I have all the problems in the world with all the shit with Mike Tyson and all that stuff. But dude, as far as Logan Paul and in a wrestling ring, look, man, if you're watching it objectively and not just saying fuck you, you're Logan Paul.
Yep.
There's no other way to look at it. And Cody once again proved why he's the champion and that he needs to be champion until, we have somebody credible that can come in and do anything with it. But dude, this match was good. I think it filled the spot as far as the main event. And again, like I said, like it, hate it, I think it's fucking smart to have Logan Paul have the U.S. title. Have him and fucking LA Knight fight each other at SummerSlam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So my thoughts on this. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Get Cho. I miss those guys. What up, man? But I would say that for me, this was a 10 out of 10. Just because as much as I don't like Logan Paul personally, I respect the hell out of him and what he's been doing and been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. He is an athlete. He definitely plays the heel very, very well. The brass nuts was just like his crutch. And I'm glad that in this match it was addressed and how it got handled. And then, Corey Graves being the savior and being like, bro, I will knock you out. Don't you dare touch Michael Cole and whatnot. That whole entire situation was just really well played. And I was like, this is great. Because even me, I would have been like, yo, you ain't talking to Michael Cole like that. You're not doing that. You're going to go in the ring or whatnot. And Cody being Captain America, with getting the crowd riled up and yelling at the referee, being like, no, we gotta finish this. I was like, bro, you are so Captain America right now. I wish that Cody would have took the count out just to take the count out, because I was like, bro, I don't want you losing the title to Logan Paul. I don't want Logan to be two-time champion, 2 belts. No. But overall, it was a very good match put together. Logan Paul, every time he goes into a match in WWE, he there's expectation, and he's always going beyond that expectation, which is very good. I do want him to I do want to feel like he respects business a little bit more. He probably does off camera, but I just want him to just I just want to know for peace of mind.
I feel like those videos WWE's putting out, though, of showing his training and stuff and having people like Miz and all that who helped train him and talking about all the time that guy's putting in. I feel like that does a lot to help it. Honestly, seeing how much time that the guy put in the ring so that he was actually doing shit. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not a Paul guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know. I just feel like anyone that's still hating on Logan Paul as far as wrestling, you're either in your feelings or you don't know what the fuck you're watching.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
If you're hating because he's a heel and he's doing a great job at it and you don't like it, then yes, it's working. But if you're hating to any point now of saying oh, he doesn't deserve this, he's
only here because of his social media shit, you're a damn fool.
You're a damn fool. And if anything too, you can't get mad at that either, because 90 million
people hasn't used why would he not use his name? Why would he not use his brand? I mean, the guy managed to work it out to get his logo on the WWE mat on fucking WrestleMania. Okay, if that doesn't say anything about the guy's business acumen, shut the fuck up.
And that leading more into them leaning into having matches advertised more and to having things put into the ring, starting with someone who's within the company. Now, do I like his prime drinks? Not that much a fan of it, but the fact that you cannot knock this man for having an entirely over 10 million people, maybe stretching into 90. Again, I don't know the exact number, but you have all them now with their eyes glued to wrestling. You cannot deny that gets you there, and it got him to there. But what you got to respect is the fact that though it got him in the door, his athleticism, his dedication to the game is what is keeping him there to get these shots. That's why it's you could be mad like myself as a wrestler side that dang that he keeps getting these title matches when there's other people in the back who haven't got one. But you also have that part of you which you cannot deny that says, I understand why this booking is happening, and I do understand that we will have a good match. Now, the one thing I will say that I feel like they dropped the ball on, but I do get it because they were in Saudi Arabia, was the ending before Cody Rhodes told him, "I'm Cody Rhodes, bitch," and hit him with the crossroads.
Yeah.
The ring announcer that interfered. I know he's a comedian, a huge star in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I feel though Michael Cole should have been the one to have done that. The way they set all of that up right there.
In America, that would have been dope, but I think that was 100% to do with the fact.
Yeah, they're in Saudi Arabia.
Look, bro, you're gonna have one of our guys be involved in the main event. Period.
Yeah, but I think that would have set it up perfect because I would have loved to see Logan Paul say, "I'm suing Michael Cole for messing up my match."
How the times have changed, though. How we went from everybody hating Michael Cole to now everybody's looking at Michael Cole as like this beloved figure.
Because it changed. We talked about this earlier, man. Like Michael Cole has changed throughout the years, man.
Oh, of course.
And Marie said it best. Like when Pat McAfee came, a lot of stuff changed for him because you could kind of tell. Like I went back and listened to some of like his old like announcing, and you could tell like I'm kind of just here. I don't know who kind of like dimmed his spirit a little bit. Not trying to point to any particular person, but you can kind of tell that Michael Cole was just kind of going through the motions, almost kind of like Ric Flair just sitting in the back before Triple H brought him into Evolution. But we've now seen a resurgence of Michael Cole, and I'm just enjoying that he's happy and he's bringing that energy to comments. I'm love seeing the clips of them doing where they're showing the match and him reacting to it and stuff like that. It's just like, yes, man, have some fun out there, bro.
So quick question. Cody Rhodes in this match was using the Vertebreaker and or Cop Killer, whichever one you want to call it. Do we
Homicide's
have
wrestling
any
here
thoughts?
in the mid today.
Yeah. Do we have any thoughts about him using that? Because when he pulled it out to do it to Logan, I was like, yes, I want to see it because I don't know. I'm just a little like, what's the word I'm looking for? Dangerous is the wrong word, but masochist, I guess. I'm a little masochist like that where I'm like, yes, do it to Logan Paul. But yeah, do we have any thoughts on it?
I like seeing it as long as you can do it right. And I mean, obviously, Cody knows what's up.
Yeah, that's all it is for me right there too. Like, if you gonna hit it, man, like y'all need to make sure y'all got that spot right. Ain't no plant your feet right. Make sure you got his arms hooked and set, and when to let go so he can hit his spot correctly. I didn't see him doing it just because again that man is $1 million investment, and I'm like, no, they're not finna let you do that. you not finna do that. That's not happening. But it kind of makes me feel like, will we see it happen? I don't know, but we are seeing them letting them do the Canadian Destroyer again in WWE. So, we might get it. Mm-hmm. But now with this though in the books, with this being done, which is what I'll say with Logan Paul, if there was any doubts about him, this is now we can now say it on here. We already believed it, but now we can say Logan Paul is a WWE superstar. What is next for Logan? What is next for Cody? Marie, we're gonna start with you.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Logan. I was gonna be like LA Knight. I wouldn't mind like that starting, LA Knight and Logan Paul just to see what kind of craziness these two guys could come up with. And for Cody, I don't know, man. Cody is in his era of taking it like slow and whatnot, and just finding his stride. There's like no one off the top of my head that like can challenge him at the moment, even though there's like a lot of people that could. I don't know if I want to see him go against like Jey Uso, just to bring that back up, because I really want Jey Uso and Tama to like start that. I don't know, but I do know in the future I want Cody Rhodes and Tama to cross paths, and for Cody to be like, "Hey, what the fuck was Haku's problem that day?" That's what I want. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's all I have for that.
All right, Kyle. What about you?
I don't know, man. As far as like a next opponent for Cody, I think there's a lot of options. I think you got to keep Cody strong. You got to keep, Cody being the big babyface champion. For Logan, I feel like he could go away for a little bit and then come back, with him being the champion and all that. But I think all roads lead to him versus LA Knight.
Haha, pun intended.
Hey,
Sorry.
I'm never gonna disagree with seeing LA Knight in the title picture. That's my guy. That is my guy.
Mhm.
I agree with that. I wouldn't mind the U.S. title run. I would, though, prefer more for the WWE Championship run, just because, man, I've been rocking with LA Knight since he was Eli Drake in TNA when he was doing those TV spots for Triple H, and even like the vignette that they showed of him at the end of King and Queen of the Ring. It seems like he might be that next push for either the U.S. title or the WWE in the Undisputed Championship. That's how I feel for Logan. I love to see that. For Cody, I might go a different route. I'd like to see him go against KO. I'd like to see maybe KO be his next opponent, which could potentially lead to Randy Orton, and then we get the whole legacy bout.
Yeah.
But I think we still need at least maybe 2 to 3 more title defenses before we let Cody go against a legend with the personal type stuff. I think we need maybe a few more matches before we get Randy versus Cody. And then to allowing Randy, to get a little bit better and everything like that. But KO is probably my first pick for it. Yeah, to go for the title next up. I would say KO is my top pick. So but yeah, that was our final story for today. I think that's gonna be wrapping up our post game. I know we're clocking in 2 hours, so forgive me, went over time. My first time hosting, so hopefully I did a great job to those out there in the WWT universe. We're so glad to have my guest here, Marie Shadows, Kyle Collison.
Got him.
Yes, and we are going to make sure that they do let y'all know how to follow, how to support them. Be sure to check out tomorrow's AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. There will be a post show about that one as well, so you can tune into WWT podcast, and we will be talking about that. Thought I threw in an extra W by mistake, but I was
WWT.
WWT. Yeah. But yeah, so before we get out of here, Kyle, please let them know where they can find you and how to support you.
So as I've been mentioning, we've been a little quiet the last few weeks. My mom had a heart attack, so I've kind of been dealing with that. But with all that being said, you can find me at Detroit Knockout and check out the show, Knockouts and 3 Counts. We will be making our return this week. I know I said that was going to happen this week, but again, bear with me. I'm dealing with some things. But with that being said, you can follow me at Detroit Knockout. Make sure you check out the show at KO3C Pod or look up Knockouts and 3 Counts. This week, this Tuesday, we've got the return of Kenny the Boss Cross, formerly on Dana White's Contender Series, was fighting for Bellator. He'll be the co-main event of XFC going down this Friday at the Masonic Temple in Detroit. And then this Thursday, as long as everything cooperates, somebody call my mama. My mama's still here, so I can call my mama. But Ernest the Cat Miller will be joining us this Thursday. We'll talk about the Unbreakable Bunch. We'll talk about him being in the Battle Riot for MLW this weekend. A lot of stuff to talk about. Make sure you check us out here on YouTube and everywhere else.
Yes, indeed. Marie, please let them know where they can find you and how to support.
Okay, so I'm Marie Shadows. The easiest place to go and find me and talk about wrestling is on Twitter at Marie_Shadows. Square Circle Podcast is obviously the name of my podcast, and it's right here on YouTube. So you guys can go and subscribe, as well as to get all of my links for everything that I do. It's campsite.bio/Marie Shadows. You can find that over on the Twitter side at Marie_Shadows. And if you guys don't know, I create a wrestling planner for everybody that is fans, podcast creators, content creators, and stuff. So it comes complete with a entire daily show that you can write. This has an open calendar concept. This has even a travel budget for this one, and then some note sections. And my favorite is the 7-star matches. So much like today when we were like, hey, what would you rate this match? You could actually color in the stars and do your own Uncle Dave kind of thing. And then some more notes and an honorable mentions towards the end of the year, because wrestling fans are like, hey, how do you remember this match? How do you remember that match? Who's your favorite wrestler? So you have it all complete in one book. Nice little planner over at Barnes and Nobles. And if you'd like to get it, you could message me on Twitter at Marie_Shadows. While you're there, check out the link in the bio, and it has the link to this on Barnes and Nobles. So yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And before we get out of here, we do want to shout out all the folks that did jump in today, jumped in the comments and was a part of this conversation. Joseph Boza, JD Smith, Digi Artist. Of course, the mayor, Cedric, was up in here today. Appreciate him joining in, as well as I believe who else we had in here. Gitcho was in here. Andy Nguyen, Eric Isaacs. We thank all of y'all for jumping in the comments and talking with us. I saw a few, I don't think a few comments were able to pop in for some reason, but for those that watched today's episode, thank you so much for checking it out. We hope you enjoyed it, and you already know where to follow the councilman, Will Farrow, PHARAOH, on all platforms, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube as well. And check out my show, Stride of a Comic Book, dropping every Saturday. We talk about comic books, talk about movies, pop culture, and all. New episode is out right now, talking about who would win between X-Men 97 and Invincible. And finally debunking this stupid Finding Nemo theory that's been going around the internet. You want to know how we debunk it? Go check out my show, Stride of a Comic Book, on my YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody joining us for today, and we shall catch you next time.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WWTalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.